So in this video I'm going to go over game 4 from Prep Test 79. There are 6 computers on a network. So here are the computers. Exactly one of those computers was infected from the outside. So one was infected from the outside and it was infected by a virus, and then that virus was transmitted between computers on the network. Each computer received the virus exactly once. Okay, no computer transmitted the virus to more than 2. All right, so we have a maximum of 2 transmissions. S transmitted the virus to exactly one other computer. So here's S, and it transmitted to exactly one other computer. The computer that transmitted the virus to R also transmitted it to S. So whatever the computer is that transmitted to S also transmitted to R. Okay. And then we have either R transmitted to Q or T transmitted to Q. Okay. And either T transmitted to P or U transmitted to P. So because we have these 2 OR rules, these 2 like dichotomies, one thing that we can do is we can actually split worlds so that we show all of our options. So the basic world that we have looks like this. Okay. That's a fair bit going on there. I probably don't need to draw a box every time. I could just do the players, right? So there, SR, and there, yeah, that's quicker. Okay, so in these 2, I'm going to do R to Q. So R transmits to Q. And in these 2, I'm going to say that T transmits to Q. Okay, so we could either have T to Q here or T to Q here. Okay, so one of those are options, T to Q or T to Q. So that's possible. So this is going to be pretty rough, right? You've got to be able to work a little bit loosely with these rules. Then in these 2, okay, so this row, I'm going to say that T transmitted to P. Okay, so here we have either T to P here or T to P here. If T to P is not here, then it would be U. And if T to P is not here, then this would be U. Okay, in these ones, we would have T to P, and then U would be here, or U is here and T to P is down there. Okay, and then in these, U is going to transmit to P, so that could be here or here. T is the other player that remains, so we don't know which one of those 2 it's going to be, right? That's an option. Here, if U transmits to P, then it's either there or there. Okay, so that's one way that you can handle it. You can also just ignore all of this and deal with the rules here. So usually I deal with the worlds. That's usually how I would do this game, usually how I would teach this game, but I'm actually going to attempt it without doing those worlds just to see how possible it actually is. Okay, so question 18. We're going to try to do process of elimination here. So one possible route of the virus from the first computer in the network infected to Q is what? Okay, so we have to have T to Q or R to Q at the end, so we can eliminate C based on that. We know that S can't transmit to R and R can't transmit to S because they both get the virus from some other computer. So S to R is not allowed. We know, what else do we know? So we know that T transmits to P or U transmits to P. So R to P and A, that's not allowed. And U to P, okay. So we are left with either D or E. So I'm just going to map both of those out. So UP, okay, that's fine. Then PR, so P would also have to transmit to S, which would have to transmit to one other computer, okay? And then R would transmit to Q. So this one looks totally possible, right? The other computer here would be T. That looks totally fine. If I were to try to find this one in my diagram over here, it would be U to P, so it would be one of these guys. U to P, RS, then T to Q, R to Q instead. So, sorry, it's this one here. Yeah, so U to P, P to R and S, and Q to T. So UPRQ is totally possible. So that's how I would solve it under the original one, is I would actually just go through the different paths and see if they match here. So I would figure out where Q is, right? So in this case, Q is here, so we could have TPRQ, but that's not an option. UPRQ, okay, I see that in D, there we go. Okay, but here, this is another way, so D is possible. E is not gonna work because if P transmits to R, P also has to transmit to S, and then S is supposed to transmit to somebody else. But we don't have anybody left over for S to transmit to, so that's why E doesn't work. Okay, next question. Question 19. Which one of the following could be the computer that was infected from outside the network? So it's not going to be Q, right? So here this would just be like process of elimination, right? What we could do is we could go through our potential answer choices here and we would see that it's either U or T, right? There's no other option. So T is the only one that's present. So based on that, we know E is the correct answer. But if we have to go process of elimination, we would say for sure it's not Q and it's not P based on these two rules. So B and A are out. And then we know that it's not S or R based on that rule. So those guys are out. So that's pretty quick either way. Okay. Question 20. If T did not transmit the virus to any other computer on the network, that means U transmitted to P and R transmitted to Q. Okay, so R transmitted to Q and U transmitted to P. So if I wanted to check that out, I would actually just go to the world where that's true. So here R to Q, U to P, and we have two options. So I can figure out what must be true in that case. And P transmitted to S doesn't actually have to be true. It could be T. Does Q transmit to R? No. Does U transmit to S? No. P didn't transmit the virus to any other computer. No, P could transmit. R did not transmit to any other. Which one must be true? If T didn't transmit to anybody else. Oh, sorry. If T didn't transmit to anybody else, then we have to have UP, yada yada. So, P did transmit to S. Yeah, A has to be true. Sorry, I lost track of that. So there is only one option here because if T didn't transmit to any other, then T is at the end, right? And T didn't transmit to P and T didn't transmit to Q. So we're only dealing with that one possibility, which is U to P, to S to R, S to T, and R to Q. That's what we would be dealing with. Okay, so we know the answer is A. Now, if we were just doing this with the rules, we would know these two things. We could input them at that point. We know T isn't in here, so this has to be UP. We know Q is over here. Yeah, so that one, again, pretty comparable in both methods. Question 21. Sneak that in down here. Question 21. Any of the following computers could have transmitted the virus to 2 other computers on the network except. So could have transmitted to 2 others. Well, we already know from the rules that S can't, but that's not an option. Okay. So I mean, I could look to these guys. I see R doesn't transmit to 2 at any point. T could transmit to Q and P, and then P and U could be, so P definitely could transmit to multiple, and U could transmit to multiple, so E is out. T could transmit to multiple, so D is out. Q could transmit to multiple, so C is the correct answer. R can't transmit to multiple. So having the diagram helps for that one, I would say. So I mean, you could definitely, based on the acceptable solution you have here, note that P is possible. T totally would work, and then you could try the other answers. You could also just go through one by one and try them. The easiest way to try it is going to be to put a player in this spot here to see can it transmit to S and R, because we already know that that computer transmits to 2 computers. And so if it's not going to work in that position, then we're going to have a problem. Yeah. So, yeah, R obviously isn't going to work in that position. And then we could see, all right, can we get R transmitting to 2? Well, R can transmit to Q, that's fine. But then who do we have left, right? If we choose U or T, then we have to add P here, and then we have too many boxes, right? This would be all of the boxes that we have, and we do need to have a relationship between either T and P or U and P to complete that, so that's not going to work. So R can only transmit to 1 at the most, and R actually doesn't have to transmit to any other player, right? If it doesn't transmit to Q, it doesn't transmit to anyone. All right, so I'm gonna leave it there, and you can complete the rest of the questions on your own. If you do have any issues, please let me know, and I can make another video, or if you want clarification on anything I said in this video, all my videos are super impromptu, so if I maybe misspoke at some point, then yeah, please feel free to send me a message and correct me, or ask for clarification. Okay, happy studying.